Hello everyone and welcome back to another PHPRunner tips and tricks tutorial. Today we're going to talk about handling long-running processes, specifically how to manage them effectively using custom buttons. But before we dive into that, I want to say a huge thank you to our new channel members. A special shout out to Terry Hudson. Thank you so much for joining a few days ago. Terry is a fantastic person and I truly appreciate the support. When he initially started his subscription, there was a slight delay on YouTube's side before it officially registered, so please keep in mind that processing times are entirely out of my hands. The API doesn't always reflect payment details instantly. As developers, you can probably imagine the complex background processes required for a financial transaction to complete before the API picks it up. Anyway, thank you so much, Terry, for supporting my efforts here. You are deeply appreciated. I also noticed a couple of returning members. Welcome back, Gregory. And welcome back to Dragobytes. I think your username might have been slightly different in the past, but either way, I am incredibly grateful for your continued support. I won't take up too much time calling out everyone individually, but Benny Cohen, you've been leading the pack in supporting this channel. Thank you so much. I'm not entirely sure why your name appears ahead of Kevin Amon here, but thank you to both of you. Your loyalty badges look amazing, and I truly appreciate all of you. I also want to point out that if you visit phprunnerconsultant.co.za/how-to, you can use the contact form to reach me directly. Keep in mind that we might be in different time zones, so if it's 2 a.m. my time, there might be a short delay, though I'm usually up working anyway. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions about your subscription or if you need custom development. I can build entire projects from scratch. Whether you need specific assistance or comprehensive development, this is how I make my living, and the link will be in the description below. Now let's get back to our project. I'm going to simulate a long-running process to demonstrate the issue. First, let's look at the project setup. It's called Long Running Process, and I'm using PHPRunner version 11.3, built 44417, which is currently the latest version. This software is truly amazing. I have a single table here named short URL. Let's open it up. There isn't much inside, just one record, as I only need a basic table structure to demonstrate these concepts. Let's head over to the designer. On the list page, you'll see I've already added a custom button labeled Your Name, but we'll look at that one in a moment. First, I'll insert a brand new custom button and name it Long Running Test. For the server event, I want to show you that we have Kodi integration available for our button events. I'll clear out the default code here and open up Kodi. But before doing that, let's go to the Server Event tab and simulate our long process using the standard PHP sleep function. As you can see from the IntelliSense pop-up, the sleep function expects an integer representing seconds. It works perfectly, so we'll tell the script to sleep for 10 seconds. I just wanted to highlight that IntelliSense feature because it's incredibly convenient. Next, I'll clear out the client after event as well. To understand the issue with this default setup, let's return to the designer, save, and build the project. Now let's view it in the browser. I'll close these extra tabs, and there is our long-running test button. Watch what happens when I click it. The process takes 10 seconds to execute, but the button remains completely active. I can click it multiple times while the initial process is still running in the background. Even worse, there's no visual indication to tell the user that something is happening or that they need to wait. This background delay is a massive problem because 99% of users will keep clicking the button out of frustration if they don't see an immediate result. Clearly, this is not the right approach. Let's head back to the code and open the button settings again. I want to try asking Cody for assistance here. Let's have Cody take us to the events page. Perfect. It brought us right where we need to be. I'll ask Cody to generate some JavaScript code for the client before event to disable the button. Let's type out the request. Please add some JavaScript code in the client before event that will disable this button. Let's hit OK and see what happens. It looks like we got an invalid request error. It's actually good that this happened on screen. It seems Cody cannot directly insert the code into this specific window for me. Let's rephrase the prompt. What is the code to disable this button? I will copy and paste it into the client before event. Let's see if we get a better response this time. It seems to be processing, but nothing is coming through. I'm not quite sure what's causing the glitch right now, but manually speaking, we want to use the ajax.setDisabled method. In reality, I typically rely on my own custom AI setup. This might be a perfect topic for a future video where I explain why I don't use Cody as much, despite it being a very clever tool. Since I'm running into a temporary issue with it here, which might just be user error on my part, let's move forward manually. We will use ajax.setDisabled in the client before event, which gracefully disables the button as soon as it's clicked. Then, while your long-running server process is executing, the button remains locked. Crucially, once the process completes, you must remember to re-enable the button in the client after event. To do that, we use ajax.setEnabled. Let's type that out, though it seems my IntelliSense is acting up in this tab as well. My apologies everyone, I'll just type it out manually. It was working perfectly in the client before tab a moment ago. Regardless, ajax.setEnabled is the correct syntax to reactivate the button. Let's save and build the project to test it. Back in the browser, if I click long-running test, the button immediately disables. I should probably use a high contrast style next time so it's visually obvious, but it is locked. Once the 10 seconds pass, it re-enables. Since Cody isn't cooperating right now, let's switch over to my preferred AI assistant for a moment. I use Google Gemini, specifically leveraging a custom gem I built as a dedicated PHPRunner version 11 coding partner. If you want a full tutorial on how to set this up, let me know in the comments. I do a massive amount of my development work here. I simply explain my goal, and it outputs clean code that I can instantly copy and paste directly into PHPRunner. Let's prompt the AI. I have a custom button and I want a SweetAlert pop-up to appear at the end of the execution sequence inside the client after event. It just needs to be a simple pop-up with an OK button saying process complete. Even if my phrasing isn't perfectly polished, the AI understands exactly what I mean. It responds enthusiastically and provides the complete solution. As a quick side note, this is a paid tier, but it is highly cost-effective for development work. The AI greets me as my PHPRunner coding partner and lays out the entire script. I really appreciate its conversational tone. However, the basic SweetAlert it provided will only flash on the screen briefly. We needed to wait for user confirmation, To achieve this, we need to utilize the promises in swal.fire to run a conditional check when the confirm button is clicked. This shows why knowing how to properly guide an AI is so crucial. This explanation is taking a bit longer than expected for a quick video, but ensuring technical accuracy is vital. Let's see if the AI picked up on my refinement. Perfect, this is exactly what we need. It uses the dot then result syntax straight from the SweetAlert documentation, and it even includes a console log. Let's copy this code, head back to our PHPRunner project, paste it into the client after event, and ensure our button re-enables inside that promise block. Let's save, build and view it in the browser once more. Clicking the button initiates the 10-second delay, and right on cue, our pop-up appears stating process complete. Unlike the basic alert, this one forces the application to wait until we click OK. If we open the browser console via Inspect, we can verify that our custom log message successfully registered. The button remains grayed out and unclickable during the process, ensuring users can't accidentally trigger duplicate requests. Now let's examine the second button labeled Long Running Demo. What happens if you are utilizing the PHPRunner Dialog API for asynchronous interactions? In those scenarios, the standard ajax.setDisabled method will not function correctly. The typical Ajax context simply doesn't apply here. I've developed a robust workaround for this, and the code is highly effective. On the server side, we maintain our 10-second sleep simulation. In the client after event, we use a structured SweetAlert promise. Let's look at the client before event to see how we handle disabling the button under these specific conditions. Instead of standard disabling, the script dynamically modifies the button text and sets a global window lock variable like window.isBusy to store the operational state. I recall troubleshooting some indexing issues where parameters weren't passing properly initially. While these details are covered in the PHPRunner manual, the AI was able to parse and resolve them instantly. Because standard methods fail during a Dialog API session, we explicitly trigger ajax.submit once the dialog workflow concludes. Let's see it in action. I'll save, build, and refresh our browser view, clearing out the old tabs. Clicking the button prompts me for my name. I'll enter Corey and click Send. Instantly, the button text updates to Processing, and it is completely locked down. After our 10-second background process finishes, a personalized message appears saying, "Hello Corey," confirming successful execution. When I click OK, the processing state clears, and the button resets to its original text. This is an incredibly useful code snippet for your library, and I will make this entire project file available for channel members to download and copy directly into their applications. If you're wondering exactly how the code enforces that button lock, let's let the AI explain it, as the mechanics can get quite technical. Let me pull up my Gemini dashboard. Looks like I accidentally closed out my windows there, but let's reopen our custom gem. Let's ask it to break down the logic. I'll supply the client before script and ask, "Can you explain how this button gets disabled?" The AI breaks down how the script initializes a unique tracking variable assigned to the window object using the button ID. On the very first click, this variable evaluates to false or undefined, allowing the script to pass through our conditional gatekeeper and immediately flip the lock status to true. This prevents any subsequent clicks from executing the code while that state is active. Simultaneously, it handles the visual updates by changing the button text to give clear feedback to the user. It really is that straightforward. If you want a dedicated video on configuring Gemini for PHPRunner development, definitely let me know. It completely transforms your speed, allowing you to build features incredibly fast. While it requires some fine-tuning, it is a massive time saver. Let's run through one final test. I'll enter James into the dialog prompt and submit. The button locks completely, preventing duplicate clicks during the 10-second server process. Once the window alert says "Hello James" and we click OK, the script hits the client after event where CTRL.setEnabled natively reactivates the button. This clean, universal snippet is perfect for managing long-running operations when working with the Dialog API. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. Please consider checking out our membership links below. Thank you all so much, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video.